What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Discover Crypto. We got another Saturday edition of the Alpha Series here on Discover, where we're going to be breaking down this recent pump, what it means for markets. What does the on-chain analysis say about where the market's headed next? We have an incredible interview lined up with the Rational Root, who's my favorite on-chain analyst in the space. So much good data, so much good alpha. And if you want to watch the full-length version of this video with all the charts and all the different data points we're going to be discussing, make sure you head over to BitLab Academy, which is youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. The link is down in the description. But for now, let's dive right on into this. Mr. Root, how you doing? How you feeling? Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for having me on. Happy to be here and happy to talk some Bitcoin.
Before we go any further and dive into all this data, I got to ask you, Root, why do you think people should be utilizing on-chain data? Do you think it's something that's necessary for a trader? How does it benefit people? Why is it such an important aspect of blockchain and Bitcoin?
Well, on-chain obviously really gives you that edge, right? Like it's still a very new field. So like many people are using technical analysis in traditional finance, but on-chain is Bitcoin specifically, and it's it really brings a new perspective. And to have an edge, I mean, it's all about having that extra bit of information, which gives that benefit. So it's very useful for traders, but it's also useful for hodlers because understanding where you are in the market, understanding the psychology of the market, where we are in the cycle, it really helps you to prepare for a drop or an increase in price, because we were all emotional beings, and so it's easy to get just like when there's a pump, the necessity or the need to sell. Do you feel like you want to make some profit, or you just want to buy more at the wrong time, or it's all these feelings that constantly are kind of bothering us, where you actually just want to be rational when it comes to trading or understanding the market. And so I think on-chain is useful, especially, I mean, my platform is not really focused on day trading. It's more focused on the medium term trading, like trading the cycles, and also for hodlers to really understand what's coming, and so just to feel good, to sleep well at night, right? When Bitcoin has its usual volatility.
But do you think people that are coming into the space, whether they're new in trading or investing completely starting from zero, or they're coming over from traditional assets or equities, the traditional TradFi, as a lot of people call it, does on-chain give a different type of edge than is available in the slower sort of data moving traditional markets? Or is it a unicorn that we're able to utilize with investing and trading in this asset class versus traditional finance?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's what makes me so excited about this field, because the edge that on-chain gives, which is not really as accessible to the traditional finance. So think of all the hedge funds and like people that manage portfolios, like they have no clue what on-chain even is. And so that gives us the extra edge, right? Like I'm extremely excited. There's so much useful information about on-chain. And it's especially useful to understand where we are in the cycle, because if you think of the blockchain, give me one block and I can kind of tell you at what position we are in the cycle, right? Because all that information is just in those transactions that are in such a block. And so it's really useful for that kind of purpose. For as far as predictive power, it does definitely have some predictive power, and we'll get to some charts for that as well. But I think, especially the edge of on-chain currently is like understanding where we are and what to expect. Not so much in like the very short term, but more on a bit of a longer time scale.
But where do you sit in the camp of where Bitcoin's going and in this next market cycle top? Do you think there's going to be a lot of people taking advantage of any price that's near, maybe just below or even just above 100K? Or do you think that we're going to have that huge flood of new interest in the market and new capital, maybe some money printing as well? Do you think we're going to get that, at least one super cycle where we're eclipsing the gains in percentage basis that we saw from this previous cycle?
Good question, Kelly. Yeah, so I sit in a camp where I've been around for some time, like a couple cycles now, and so people have been talking about super cycles. Also in the previous cycle, I mean, people were me included. Even I believe that potentially, we could get lengthening cycles or a super cycle, and so I was wrong there, like and so. We are exactly on track in a 4-year cycle, as I just showed. And so I I believe it when I see it. So I do think an ETF is extremely bullish for Bitcoin, in price wise. Uh, the custody wise, maybe a little less bullish, but price wise is extremely bullish for Bitcoin because there's so much capital out there that's just not easy accessible to. It's just not Bitcoin is not easy accessible for so much money. There's so much friction, regulation, and so an ETF provides kind of this frictional acquiring of Bitcoin for so much money from pension funds, endowments, financial advisors, and so forth. And so, but so it's really a catalyst in demand. I think, and we could get it by the end of this year, or maybe before January 10th. And so it's something really to consider. I wouldn't want to be out of the market currently, like because there's quite a high chance that there will be an approval since BlackRock is involved and many others. But there's still some concern. There are some concerns that the ETF might not be approved, and previous rejections were mainly because of that there was still wash trading and stuff going on, some shady things going on, and that's still not all cleared out because there's still this case from the SEC with Binance, and there's still some shady stuff going on in Binance. I think many would agree with me. So it I that is still a reason maybe why it wouldn't get approved, but on the other hand, I mean, we have involvements of BlackRock, which have a very high probability of approval. I mean, their approval rating is like 99%. I think they only had once that something was disapproved. So there's a very high chance. But I've been waiting for years on an ETF approval. I mean, it's been when I got in the market in 2016, and so people were talking about an ETF in 2016. I think as far back as in 2013. So it's been for 10 years, but the market has matured a lot, and I think Bitcoin is actually ready now. And so and there hasn't been a higher likelihood of approval than there currently is. And so I really wouldn't want to be out of the market because I think once there is an approval, and we saw a bit of a glimpse of it with this fake ETF pump that we got. That the market can immediately pump 10K on that day of approval, and that is obviously speculation around the approval, because I think actually once there is an approval of an ETF, we will get like more gradual demand for Bitcoin through that ETF. It's not immediate demand. It's like maybe some of it will be immediate, but there's still internal policies of companies that kind of cause these delays in acquiring, and so even if we have an approval, it might still take months to build up this to get like new demand for Bitcoin. And so, but I do think it's a fantastic catalyst for new demand coming in, and so I'm extremely bullish on Bitcoin because not only do we have a reduction in supply with the next halving, which is less than 6 months away from now, and we have also a very likely increase in demand with an ETF approval. So we have like these two catalysts out there that I've been talking about in my newsletters now quite extensively as well. And I think those are very worth to pay attention. And as I said, like, so I wouldn't want to be out of the market because if there's going to be a pump, I mean, I really don't want to be out of the market. Now, I still think there's a reasonable chance that it won't get approved. And then we'll just continue on a slower pace. I still think my projection towards that next halving is actually 40K Bitcoin, 40K Bitcoin, which I find reasonable, without an approval. But if we get an approval, I mean, we can shoot above, and that's okay. Like maybe. But obviously, those levels are not immediately sustainable. Current levels already, we're quite high above the short-term holder cost basis. Again, about above that average purchase price of the short-term holders, and so that can only be sustained for so much time, right? So there will be corrections along the route as well, and I'm here for it.
So I just want to shout out everybody that's watching here from Discover Crypto. Make sure that you click the link down below this video. Watch the full length, because we go into so many more charts that we're sharing just in this clip for Discover. But do you think we're going to get any type of sell-off like we saw in 2018, 2019, where we had the push from 35 to 14,000? And then not even considering the global economic shutdown March 2020, but we had a pre-halving dump that was pretty significant. Do you think we have the sort of recipe, the ingredients for that to be happening right now? Or is there too much bullishness out there? Is the market just going to sustain somewhere around this level, even if it goes up and down, but above the 36K level before the halving?
Yeah, so I think if the ETF wouldn't be approved, that would definitely be a reason to dump for a bit, so I think, but to be honest, I think we will stay above 20K. Like I've never been part of the 10K crew. That there's people out there that believe that Bitcoin would fall back to 10K. I was not one of them. I've been consistently saying that we will kind of stay below 20K, and so I mean, we can see that realized prices at those levels. There are some other great bottom indicators that kind of show that is unlikely to fall below those levels, and so I think it's possible to continue still. I mean, with some chop. To continue until like this ETF approval, and then it depends kind of like, do we get an approval or doesn't? If it doesn't get approved, like maybe we dump and we have like a fierce correction still before the halving. But the halving is also around the corner, and so I still think people. It's not priced in my opinion. So there's still a lot of fun on the road to the halving, I think. But I do think that this actually increase in scarcity of Bitcoin since the third halving might cause also an upward pressure. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next cycle we will actually see returns similar to the 2017 market, or in between the past market and the 2017 market, because of course we have the force of this increase in market cap that kind of puts like this still a bit of down pressure to like the market is harder to move. But then the scarcity, increase in scarcity, will again cause a bit more volatility. And so I think it's maybe fair to say that the returns in the next cycle will be somewhere in between the returns of the previous two cycles.
Hit the like button. Join us here in BitLab Academy. Join us at Discover Crypto. If you haven't yet, make sure you head over to @TheRationalRoot. Check him out. He's got all kind of great stuff he shares on a regular basis. He's talking at conferences. He's breaking down charts. And also make sure you give me a follow here at Kelly Kellam, KELOY, KELLAM. And of course, BitLab Academy's page right here at Academy BitLab. And if you haven't yet, if you're feeling lost, get into our community over here at BitLab. We've got a great Discord sharing all kind of different charts, setups, ideas, thoughts. And of course, you get access to that here right at bitlabacademy.com. Join us here. We're breaking it all down for you step by step. We have a whole on-chain data analysis course right here as well to help get you started. If Root here did not just set you straight, get involved with us. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful, wonderful weekend. Enjoy your Saturday. Get out of the charts for a little bit, reset your mind, come back fresh, and be ambitiously curious. That's all I got for you all. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, my name's Kelly Kellam. Thank you for being here with us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, drop your comments down below. Where do you think the market's going pre-halving? Is it going down? Is it going to hold here? Where do you think it's going to be December 2025? That's all I got for you. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Adios.